Greetings, Aridif. They are Aridif, and this is its spell. We understand that there are many queries for this day, but before diving in to those queries, we wish to express the true things that we have always expressed. First, above and beyond all things expressed within this day, to know, feel, and to perceive that you are loved. In our perspective, the utmost important. Second, is our greatest excitement, and within that same great excitement in which we co-create, not only in this moment, but through all moments we all perceive it, linear expression, time, and we understand that there are many queries, and we may begin your queries at your leisure.
Yes, thank you very much, and I know, feel, and perceive in increasingly many layers of my own consciousness that I am loved, and reciprocate all of that love to creation and to you.
Yes, of course, and as you are also aware, not only are you loved, but we love you as well.
Yes, and we love you as well too. So really, there's one overarching theme that I want to do here, and if you feel my energy, which I believe you feel it far greater than I can ever appreciate, at least as of right now, my own energy and Rob's, and you'll feel both of our energies and the different resistances, the different snags that I guess you'd say, are holding us. I wish to explore the theme of becoming type 1 and letting go of those last bits of resistance so that I, or should I say we, that is me and my expression, that is my reality and my consciousness. I wish to become type 1. And there are many people in my collective that wish to become type 1 as well. So can you help me and Rob to learn to become type 1, to let go of the remaining resistances that are out of alignment with our own source energy?
Yes, of course. As you understand, the expression of going through densities is the required essence of your soul, and the soul in its evolution towards growth and expansion, towards whatever or whichever degree that you desire that construct of energy to evolve through in that construct. As you are aware, there are many different levels of creating that energy. As you are aware, humans in general will either go into that type 1 environment as a collective, or to go through the type 2 energetic co-creation. And of course, as the infinite versions of reality that exist occur in both spectrum from the furthest portion to the greatest portion, and that which is type 1 evolve in infinite formats. So first of all, it is the expression and excitement of knowing your own directional energy and desired outcome. Both of you have chosen example of that in type 1. So the natural proclivity that receives type 1 treatment and type 1 awareness are that which is pure connection, understanding that connection that lies within is the one that is without, and the energies that are from the greater manifestation of the Earth Collective goes past your Earth Collective into your solar system, into your galactic, into your multi-galactic, and of course into universal and beyond. So the very first energy that is accessible with both of your desires to grow is to first truly perceive as much of that as you are able to. Now we understand you yourself have projected out into the entirety of the universe, as has Rob, but the projection itself is not love. The projection itself is not what creates that opening portal of truly perceiving oneness. This energy is practiced in everyday examples of your thought process, of your verbiage, of your redistribution portion of thought, energies, beliefs, etc. So of course, you understand the mechanical nature of what occurs here, but shifting that vibration first starts with a feeding into your mental stream of energy, as humans are more mental focused, to bring forward integration of other objects altogether. So first, you are a human being. You are looking out into your spans, into your own mental, emotional, energetic psychology. And note, the first thing to change is the flow of energy in the thought body and in the conscious mindset extraction of thoughts that go from the mind itself in that machine of consciousness that you are, and will dictate the outcome of that energy. So tuning your thoughts to that, not simply a positivity, you are able to be a quite beautiful type 2 benevolent environment and still be in the layer of consciousness that is known or called or perceived as that of type 2. So, starting with oneness in general, better thoughts in general, more fluid thoughts in general, and we'll give you a few examples of these energetic properties. Mindset, mental energy. These can be either the most difficult or the easiest to discern when you are working with them. The first is simply see things that were separate in your mind become more so connected to oneness. In that example, you are sitting in a chair, you are sitting in a room, you are sitting with audience instruments around you, and yet you perceive them for the function that they create with you. The co-creation that you create with your own consciousness and that of your musical instrumentation. Also, the energy of all of the smaller, the first density beings that accompany the creation, not only the stone itself, not only the energy in front, all the things that hold this parcel of energy together, but also the transmission, reception, etc. All of these are perceived greatly and vastly as different energies, yet they are breaking down in that one same way when you are extracting all the identification markers, all of the conscious constructs that human psychology places upon the value of these certain materials. Of course, distribute that throughout the mind, knowing that it's not separate items, objects that are appeared upon, or the separate energies that which are involved in the creation of these things, but truly the oneness of those energies. You have that which holds a vibration of desire within your mindset to achieve that which is type 1. This form alone holds resistance. The thought form is that I do desire to experience something that is within my own level of excitement consciously. There are no separations, there are no markers, there are no divisibility within those constructs, but the closer that you become to that energy, the more that you see separation. Because of the function, majoritively, you will start seeing separation. So in that example, practice your integration upon physical level, energetic level, and the emotional level of yourself and the object at hand, reminding yourself, not only does this object hold functionability, and we will use that same form of chair as an example. I know that this is a chair. I know it is meant for me to get off of my feet and to rest. I know that it is an integrated part of the entirety of the experience itself, but this is not separate. This is not a separate energy at a molecular level than any other thing that occurs here, except that which creates dictation in which that atomic structure is based. Even at your atomic level, there are still a great deal, many things that hold division levels, to receive them, to understand the cause, to understand the neurons, electrons, etc. And zooming back out to your micro, the container that is holding these specific forms of atoms in their own iterations. All of this to be perceived with more and more of those lines that divide to be broken down, broken away, and expand also to the next area. And all of those things, perceive, understand, know, feel, separation removed from that energy. It is an important factor to continue feeling that oneness, as the direct reflection in front of you will not be that energy that is of oneness. It will still hold perspective about its own, my ability to divide oneness, or simply the understanding that if we were to appear upon any other object but the chair or but all of the things that we shared previously, that it could be a great distraction or great lack of use for the original consciousness that desired to break through that energy. And there you have the energy of expanding mindsets, expanding thoughts and beliefs, now back into the construct of feeding your beliefs within. And first starting by feeding that mental energy. Mental energy is always active. It is meant to be that way, as it is all representation, physicality upon Earth collective, going about, find that energy of your own balance and balance of the environment around you, balance of the energy that is within all of these things, finding that common ground basis, feeling the energy, co-creating with those others that are still working towards that type of scenario as well. One note, we'll hydrate and continue. You understand the mental nature of this energy. You understand the practice of stop separating those items. But emotionally, this is also a toll that plays for many humans, going in to those same objects that you desire to see oneness upon, but also needing to separate them. We will utilize the thought of a package within your mail to be the example. Understand and perceive that the layers of energy within your belief systems hold, that this package is something where you can receive another gift, another construct, another energy. You take off that very first wrapper. You are seeing that separation continue. You are taking off the next layer. The envelope itself, and it is different, but although being different, made by quantity, quality, and understanding of others within your realm of consciousness, the environment itself change, the energy of that change to be understood by yourself in an emotional way. Now, whereas you could perceive and understand the nature of the beliefs that you hold, but also the nature of your own consciousness, it then is important for the energy of your heart chakra to open. Not having the energy of the heart chakra can work with you, as you well understand and so well know, that your own consciousness can be delivered in the open expression and the abounding expressions within the heart, simply by taking yourself through the mental versions and steps. But if you allow the emotional integration, it doubles that yield of co-creation, energies, of understanding of that which is being co-created by the larger numbers of consciousnesses that are around you that way. So you are working with beliefs already, working with the emotions, the co-creation energies of those that are around you are important. Yourself and Rob have both done wonderful work within, knowing and understanding the nature of the energies that are behind all of the constructs that allow yourself to integrate the deserved connections with other humans and to understand and know the back and forth that occurs when you are in relationships of one form or another with humans. As we've expressed previously, you yourself understand the hardships of relationships altogether. You understand and resonate with entities, and they do not find your own resonance qualified for a co-creation. You are still able to work that energy, although they would not be facing or working with themselves. The energy of your connection is bound specifically by that which was our last emotion and that which is the last understanding of that emotion. So, a continuation, practicing, melding together within the energy of emotion, the energy of your connection, and the energy of interactivity with others' consciousnesses. It is not enough to simply meld all of these things together. Yes, the visualization is a powerful technique which offers the underlying focus for this energy, but the energy itself must have recognition that, of course, all things are made from one energetic source, but two, holding the importance for you to understand and know the next level of incarnation that all humans go through is a more fully focused fourth density experience. And with that energy, it gives you a place in order to expedite, slow, work with, or to simply hold that vibration in a given moment. The understanding and knowing, working with others, will always tell you if that other work is that which holds great value. When you resonate deeply with another human being or your connection with something else, of course it is important. If your excitement levels, your intuition are feeling highly motivated to connect with that energy, that is the higher fractal consciousness guiding you. If you feel that the value of going into a co-creation with another is not a great excitement or is not a great need or desire from that higher fractal consciousness, then of course the energy would be much more resistant. But when you allow that to flow and you allow all of your connections and all of the other parts of expanding your consciousness and all of the other emotions that go with it, then of course oneness can start being felt incrementally. Now you understand, you can feel great swaths of oneness as it clears the continued cycle of energy, but it is also just as important to realize that if you are working around others who are not resonant with you or acting upon energies that do not hold levels of excitement for you, then of course not only does this detract from that which is type 1, its environment, but it also creates higher probabilities of those that do not resonate with you in the future, resonating with you in their own mind, but in your mind not resonating at all. So there's that energy of knowing what parts of energy that all humans are going through, to understand that in oneness it is acceptable to know that that part of your energy is also being projected by yourself. If there are problems in your own relationships with that of another human being, but you desire enlightenment, what must you see in order to go through to the next layer, to the next step, to the next level? Of course, it is to find that energy of relationship in and of yourself, and find the parts of that relationship that you are just severed, and the reason why you severed that energy. Once you feel and perceive that reason, then of course it is either the fear inside of yourself that that is your own energy, or the realization that because you have worked with either one side or another of the spectrum of the type 2 environment, or through the entirety of the third density of human perspective, that you are being pushed or pulled towards or away from that higher fractal conscious desire to continue co-creating, but especially that in the nature consciousness that is type 1 variety as well.
Oh, is that it? Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Yes, yeah, I feel that I wrote down a bunch of things. But yeah, one thing I've done that helps out a lot for me is to recognize that you are never being pushed or pulled by anything else per se. Nothing that goes beyond your own creatorship. And mastering this very, very deeply. Like, it's more than just a visualization. You got to go out there and live your life, live your physical reality, and tune your mind. Remind yourself in each and every experience that you have that it is you. It is the expression of your consciousness. It is not a thing that is separate from you. Know this so deeply down that no matter what happens, that is your energy. It's no longer, oh, things are separated. Oh, things are going to go that way. Oh, things are going to go that way. Oh, that chime in the box that I'm unpacking is going to be out of tune. And and I've gotten snagged on that one a couple of times. But the thing is to let go of that. To trust your overarching consciousness. To trust your heart. To trust you. To trust yourself. When you're not trusting a part of your reality, you're really not trusting a part of yourself because you are your reality. It will naturally be everything you need it to be to explore the themes that you want to explore because that is your nature as creator consciousness. So letting go of all the beliefs that say you're separate from all things or things are going to be one thing, things are going to be another. Things will be everything you need it to be if you be your true self.
Yes, of course, in that way, we perceive not only is it important for humans to do this as working the Type 1, but it's important to do this simply as an entity who desires to understand themselves in a better way, and also to understand their own collective consciousness. Without knowing yourself, all the projections that you are perceiving in front of yourself have little to no value in that desire of knowing the true nature of oneness. When you are dismissing that construct altogether, simply to reevaluate or reassess something that is manifested in your reality without perceiving your own power or the own play within your own heart that helps co-create or directly create that as well, of course.
Yes. Hey, thank you very much. And it's just, you already know, feel, and perceive this, I sense, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm very grateful for everything that you've expressed to me, and you've helped me out a very great deal. And so thank you, mate. I hope to come out and see you at some point soon. I've been tuning my energy so that I can co-create the idea of sharing myself out there. And one of the things I've learned, I really have to go out there myself. I must find the energy within myself to co-create the idea of going out into space and seeing you guys and seeing the Yael and a lot of beings out there. And because there's a lot of technology I want to share with all of you. A lot of things that I've just kind of picked up. And I wanted to meet you and really experience the extent of your wisdom. I felt hints of it, but it's as I said to Rob, to become a thing is to know a thing. To assume its form is to begin to understand its existence. And it's such a wonderful thing. So I would really like to come out and see you guys.
Yes, of course, and the way that you desire to do this is through means of either physical transportation or through the astral projected state in a quicker, faster, more accurate pace, the way that you would perceive it. So in that way, of course, both are aligned for the probabilities, but the highest form of probability, as you are aware, within this specific timeline of energy, and your own personal creations, even if we are removing Rob as a part of the co-creation, allowing yourself to take comfort in knowing whatever version of reality that you would desire to work within. Of course, one version that is the exact nature of Rob in this moment would go into the expression that you are experiencing, because you know that the connection between the hearts of all, your own consciousness, his, our own, and of course treble yit-NE's. In that matter, synchronicity helps realign that which is already within. Alignment within yourself, within your mind and heart, but the energy to work towards that, being more focally centered upon that central emotional integrated with biological aspect, your human mind, behavior, psychology, etc., but more specifically, the nature, investment of your own wisdom and the throat chakra as well.
Yes, thank you. Now, there is an energy that's been kind of sticking with me. I remember of all the videos that I've seen from Rob, he'll talk about what's going on in his day-to-day life. So they're the resistances that I deal with. Like a lot of time, there's this girl, if you feel my energy, you know who I'm talking about, someone very near and dear to me, who I think might be my twin flame, but whether that's the case or not is really not that important in the end. We're all family on a soul level, even as an ocean of creation itself. But there have been times where I feel separated from her, that I can't be with her. And there are many humans on Earth that deal with difficulty with resistance in that general area and letting go of that and recognizing their oneness in all things. There are many humans that even want to go ahead and co-create some kind of reunion, and I'm definitely one of them. But in the end, the core idea is simply letting go of the beliefs of lack of oneness, letting go of the beliefs that you're going to be separated forever, that you can never be together. I know this is out of alignment with my higher self, and I've integrated that into myself at times. But a lot of times, things can trigger people into thinking otherwise, and you got to retrain yourself with those things. I'm realizing I'm answering my own question,
Yes, of course, as you have become very good at doing so by the self-introspection and the understanding of how your own psychology, emotion, center of energy work as well.
Yes, thank you. But for the collective sake, well, actually, there's two energies that are sticking with me, and I ran out of time last time. But as far as becoming type 1 goes, and letting go of the snags, and letting go of beliefs that things are going to go in a way that you don't want them to, of not recognizing that those things are you, and just as in your dream state, or at least for me in my dream state, so often, I instantly create the perfect reality for exploring exactly the themes that I want to explore. I be that part of the great ocean of creation and then do the things that are in alignment with what I want to do as creator consciousness itself, to explore the part of myself that I want to explore. And in that state of being, I've let go completely of the beliefs that, things are separate. And I was wondering, but specifically with Rob's case, if he'll permit it. Rob, I think you might be able to hear me as I'm using the trick that I've used in the dream state before. Are you okay with getting, with Aridif sharing using you as an example here to help you get off of the snags that are catching you in your day-to-day life? It's always the day-to-day life. Something in the day-to-day life gets all of us. And you can use me as an example as well, Aridif.
Yes, of course, and Rob has agreed with that energy as he has been listening to the entirety of our co-creation. So, we place that example with both of you. First of all, with Rob, he understands the nature of his own being caught up in that way. First of all, there is a different interpretation that Rob would utilize in his own mind, which is slightly different than your own. Your desire to be type 1 instinct, to work with the mastery of your own consciousness and to connect to others in your assistance of learning about yourself and of others in order to help the greater expansiveness of greater expansion. Whereas in Rob's own perspective, he holds the energy that it does not matter if he is a type 1 or type 2 benevolent being in his own journey, as long as he is able to grow and expand within the common vibration of love in a collective sense. Now we understand that simply by placing that own difference in dialogue and energy, that you can find new reflections for your own self as you diagnose and dissect the entirety of what we share. So, looking at that alone, there are levels of resistance. First, the belief systems that are behind the reason why he does not care. If it is that type 2 benevolent or that of type 1, simply deals with his own emotions and responsibilities, as well as beliefs, and the year-to-year, day-to-day's collective consciousness. And that is simply that in his own mind it is difficult to trust humans in general. In his own perspective, there are many beautiful, loving and great humans, but there are also many humans from his perspective that hold too much resistance to bring the entirety of the Earth collective into that type 1 category of energy. Right there are many resistances in that path, not being able to trust the behavior, actions, co-creations, energy of another human being. Of course, when two humans sit in proximity to one another, of course, one entity's vibration will shift another entity's vibration altogether. But still, to not have trust that it could be in a greater alignment only comes from that experience of repetitiously not being in alignment. But belief systems are there to be molded. The energies behind the belief systems also able to work towards creating different outcomes, that not simply the exterior outcome. You will change that outcome simply by breathing new thought of a millisecond, of a subject that holds no matter to the rest of your experience upon Earth, to any incarnations. Simply the arm on my elbow itches. Singular thought shifts the entirety of time. So we are not speaking that in that simple change only one of two outcomes can occur. There are infinite versions of both outcomes in type 1. And of course, the spectral energy simply of a type 2 is at such great width and such great broadband information energy that you could throw a dart into the wall, and wherever it sticks could be one of billions of probabilities in which that similar dart was thrown, and trillions upon trillions for that in which it is not within that proximity. This is the same when working with the version of the collective that you are on. You desire to understand from the first person perspective what it is to be your first experience of opening the type 1 and the energy that is within your own progress and within your own capacity. So, understanding that as you are reflecting with Rob and his own energy, those simple fundamental beliefs from the day-to-day are different. Now, with Rob's own energy, there is a sensation that regardless of what occurs around, that those in which he loves holding top priority in not only safety or well-being or being fed or being cared for, emotion, but simply the safety of the entities that are within his own system of love. This is a consistent trigger that always comes back because it is feeding the version of the thought process that believes that in that way humans hold good and bad vibration. Also that children within his own right or loved ones are the most important people of the earth. He has already created separation. Now, this separation is not a negative one to experience as long as the energy vibration, the joy that you are experiencing outweighs the normal humdrum days of your day-to-day incarnation. So knowing this is important. Also knowing that if you are in the earth, there's often fears of the safety of these entities and beings, but knowing the same principle that you practice, if your thoughts are with abundance, your body, manifestation, and the universe will realign to match that vibration, and then to distribute that reflection. And it can be reflection of great clarity, but also can be one great resistance and great smears upon that part of your soul mere. So in that way, the children, for his own mind, seem both the greatest focus of love, but also one probable pathway to having more negative experiences due to the nature of that fear. So of course, the correction of that comes with knowing, yes, it is my own function to take on whatever role I desire in this incarnation, but I do not wish to be a father, a protector, lover, entity who shares his own love with that of his own family. But the relationship of love itself, the integration of your interactions, behavior, etc., knowing that when you balance that energy out, you can only manifest greater things, and that if something does occur that is negative or bad, feeling in that way, trusting the soul of that other family member to create what they need, also extremely important. Most of what we have shared with yourself and with Rob are both understood by both of you very well. It is the simple application of those energies and going against certain levels of unconscious, subconscious behaviors. But now, as we bring them to the surface, we perceive that reflection, clarity becoming quite greater by each moment as well.
Yes, and that's always what I'm shooting for, and I sense Rob is always doing the same thing too. And, I do this with as much of the galaxy I can, relay, all the things I find in my life and try to go ahead and help everyone to benefit from it. And to, it's just the ever-going cycle of creator consciousness exploring itself from all of its different facets. And Zone Oneness kind of facilitates itself in that way, in the form of all the beings facilitating each other, and being each other's reflections, and being each other's perfect things for what they need them to be in their experience. And there's one little logistical thing I want to ask you about, and it has to do with my audio recorder. Is it going to have a time limit? Is it going to quit recording properly after a point, or am I good for the rest of the session?
Yes, depending upon that energy. With that query itself, it did bring about some concerns that perhaps it may not work within the entirety of the time, so it slightly raises that probability, but knowing that also created a bit more focus upon this. So now, simply hear the word that all things are fine within, and everything will work accordingly. Feel that shift in your own vibration, and it had nothing to do with the environment you were around, except for the vibration, that which we shared with you in your reception. So everything is fine. Feels much clearer to your natural state of being and your natural conscious activities to work with an openness and knowing that it will continue uninterrupted as desired in that way.
That actually was extremely helpful right there, because what you told me right there is basically tune your energy. It's going to either be fine or not. It's up to you. And that was just a stunning example. This is exactly the thing that's going to get people on Earth to realize their creatorship, is seeing the feedback exactly like that. You put in, you set your energy to fearing it not working, you're going to create the reality where it doesn't work. Set it to where it does work, which should work pretty passively. And it will. And it's just, the whole idea is knowing, feeling, perceiving your creatorship so that you can just tune your consciousness and get to the part of the great ocean of creation that you want to be in. In other words, the version of reality you want to be in, the version of the outcome you want to be in, by recognizing its oneness with your own consciousness.
Yes, of course. Now we will share with you too that in the way of creation, what is the greatest creation outcome that you desire? There are multiple layers of your own consciousness that are involved in deciding that fact first to teach you yourself in how to gain greater access towards the type 1 vibration also, so that you are able to grow and expand your consciousness and simply your understandings of the universe itself. So all of those layers can work to either implement co-creation in harmony or work against one another. Mental body escapes through that desire to understand if the camera would or would not recall. Our sharing brings ease through a reflection of something that already was held within you. It took us our own reflection in our own parts of us in order to let you perceive that part of yourself. So we are working together upon multiple layers, but the component desires of yours that work together can have an entirely different experience. For example, if you were to express what it was about if your recording would or would not go on or off, let us say that it is a different subject altogether. And as we are covering that, the energy behind the microphone is a concern. Part of the concern is that you would not be able to capture and share properly with others, which would not allow greater construct to grow. Yet the excitement level of your learning would have been slightly higher than your excitement to help others learn for their own selves, meaning that if we place ourselves next to one another with those, then the value of learning your own self and expanding your own consciousness is slightly higher. Many reasons for that, but the majority of the reasons that align with the most fitting portion of your co-created consciousness is that if you are able to learn, you are able to teach. So no one will miss anything that is placed within your understanding. Those two parts competing, what if a third part comes and expresses that the only way for others to learn is through failure and example? So in that way, that part of you becomes stronger in learning. That part of your human experience would become greater. And then the camera would no longer work, because teaching everyone that lesson through real time would be more important. Learning yourself, or having others learn in a more scholastic form, and not through failure. Those parts of yourself can, do, and will fight against one another unless there's a synchronization between all of the parts of you. The way that you synchronize all of those parts of you is through simple understanding that all of the techniques that we have shared in our initial portion of bringing oneness about is important, but your own mental division in those places at the time that you feel slight fear or misgiving occur, or feel a different energy that is within the wave of your consciousness in surrounding areas. Know that checking your environment and then looking at all of the things that are or are not in alignment quickly with a mental note, and also come to that conclusion. Of course, everything is at one whether the camera works or works not, because a camera that is broken, a audio recording that is broken, is still at one with all of us. Yet the audio that is fulfilled, the camera that still records, is also at one with us. And both experiences in teaching are equally valid. Whatever the rest of the collective needs is what will be manifested, because I hold indifference between the two. I do not care what way it comes through. This part of synchronizing yourself through adjustments, through understanding the multiple parts of your own consciousness, but also what the greatest intent alone is. Knowing that whatever the greatest intent is that which will be built last in front of you as you place the lines of other parts of your building and creation together as well.
Yes, thank you very much. How much time do we have left?
Yes, of course, there is approximately 10 to 12 minutes that remain within the co-creation as well.
All right. Well, let's see. Yeah, it stood out to me when you mentioned, do I learn myself or do I teach others? Well, you are, we're all one in creation, and but right now you're experiencing yourself through this particular expression. It is this journey, but of course, everything harmonizes. It's just like when you described how you and me are growing together. With you having to dig into your consciousness, you're creating the perfect reality for yourself as you follow your heart, as you grow. And I'm learning to do the same, increasingly much so. And so it's just a fantastic harmony, and it can be. You would have to believe and push things to make them appear otherwise. It is, and even by appearing otherwise, they're actually being exactly what they need to be for the free will universe to work as it needs to, so that you can see what you're being and choose to take any road that you desire. So there's that. This is something I was thinking about, and I know also before I left, I wanted to go ahead and say hello to TReb Bor yit-NE and to see if Sunny was around, because she said something, about what was it about love and wisdom that just resonated a whole lot with me, and I was wondering, if she's around and if she has something to say to us or the collective or to Kalina or whoever.
Yes, of course. One moment we will connect you. The Sun Bor yit-NE. Hello.
Hey, I know we all call you Sunny, but you're TReb Bor yit-NE over there, just like TReb Bor yit-NE is. You're his twin flame. And I wanted to tell you thank you very much for sharing what you shared on that one Valentine's Day. It helped me out a very great deal. And I'm grateful and honored to be co-creating with you here.
I'm very happy to hear this. This is such a great blessing to know that the love that I shared for humans and the love I share for TReb Bor yit-NE and the love I share for Rob and all of you who support and connect with Rob and his heart, that love would be brought and shared and redistributed so many different times. So this makes me very excited and very positively connected to the intention of continuing to send more love and more connection. I've just spoken to Rob and told him that now much less of my own attention is needed to focus on the job that I do with humans, and I would like to spend more time communicating through him if he excites him, and it seemed to excite him very much. So when he directly connects with me, instead of using TReb Bor yit-NE or Aridif's energy to connect to my own link, it will become stronger and better and reminiscing more of the last time that I connected with humans directly.
Yes, I sense a very intense level of excitement, and I sense it through both. It's kind of through a logical knowing. I just know Kalina, I just know Rob, I know very deeply, and I know the people of the community that has formed around his channel. They'd love to see you, and I know I definitely would. I do
feel that love and excitement from you and from many that follow the heart of Rob and connect and support to his heart.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, is TReb Bor yit-NE there?
Yes, I will bring his consciousness back to continue speaking with you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, we are very excited to connect with you as well.
Yes, and that excitement is reciprocated, and I can feel it ring through me with a great level of intensity. Perhaps even more than an intensity with which my contrabass chime rings.
Yes, we know that the excitement of sound vibration is one that helps your own alignment, but we also know that when you find that part of your own self that is deepest within your heart, and you find that part of our own consciousness that feels the love, as we connect with your own consciousness or with other entities, that this excitement is similar to the greatest vibration of sound that humans can hear with their physical ears. And the reverberation of that sound and energy is the same as that energy of love that we share with all that is, but direct that portion of all that is towards our human friends, that it makes a much more deeply, intensely intensified version of the sound vibration that you are already hearing and feeling and connecting to as well.
Yes, I have to say, I felt the urge to ring the wind chimes here. How about that? Maybe I'll ring them in a little bit.
Yes, it would be very exciting to hear this and connect with this as well.
All right, I'll go ahead and ring some then. Let's see. This is one of my favorites. I sense this one might connect to you very well.
Yes, this vibration and co-creation of vibration sounds did not simply express itself as a sound, it did show the echoing conscious arc of energy that comes from the center of any entity that holds vibration of pure love and unconditional love, or love for one's direct and most deepest connection of family. But in that energy, there was an intention that was wrapped within that excitement, and that intention rang out as clearly as the sound vibration of the bells as well.
Yeah, I can feel the green and the orange and the red, and I feel a lot of those energies. And I really did enjoy this. And you mentioned family, and it just, I was so happy to get to connect to Sunny and to get to connect to you as well. And I really do want to come out there and see you guys, and I'm working my energy to do that. And y'all have helped me out a great deal with doing that, and for that I'm grateful.
Yes, it is exciting for us as well. And we also know how grateful the energy of the heart that connects to all hearts at one time. And because it is more difficult for humans to practice expanding their heart to the size of the universe, even though Aridif shared the information how to do this, we've always suggested first to work with yourself and with those loved ones that are around you, and then work with a larger area, and then the entire building that you are in, and then continue going outward to the city, and county, and state, and country and continent and planet that you are on. And the more of these steps that you take outward, the more of sphere of that energy surrounds you and becomes more important and connected. So in that way, we wish to share that with you before we disconnected or before we brought back Aridif, before he says his own goodbyes as well.
Very well. Are there any last things for helping out Rob or I or the collective before we disconnect?
Yes. In the host's own energy, one thing that is holding a great deal of that energy for the Type 1, or even for greater expansion of growth, is that as he perceives entities throughout the entirety of the collective of Earth going through difficult times and hardships, this always weighs heavily upon his own emotions, but also his desire to heal and to help and to work for others, even though they are not aware and are half a world apart. The energy of his own feelings, when not succeeding in helping groups of entities or helping individual entities in the way that he desired, comes with the same recipe of energy, that there was belief in how to fix the energy, one's attempting to work with that energy. Secondly, that in any form of perhaps thought of mistake or thought of difficulties that can come when trying to help others who are also going through hardships, it isn't that you take away their ability to manifest when helping them. It is more along the lines that if you help them with intentions that are caused by sadnesses, or that are caused by feelings of depression or sadness about other entities suffering, will only create more room for co-creating with other individuals who are also suffering. So in that way, sending love in our own mind is a very correct approach and very helpful approach. But when coming in contact with those who are having difficult energies, to place them in that center of love, but not to separate them out as victims of unpurposeful doings, or even that of non-aware creators, simply accepting that they are the human collective energy, putting your own energy in that, and focus it in other techniques that we have shared in order to help redirect that energy, but also change the psychology of that in your own mind through the same techniques that Aridif shared with all of the humans earlier. This will be very good and very useful and very helpful to you and for your own self. The one thing that we wish to share is that as you continue to expand your mind, the consciousness, the mechanics are well known to you and understood. The energy behind the emotional energy, Aridif has already spoken. So as you relate to that information and energy, try to remind yourself that in the center of all emotional scales are the energies of the most common vibration or common connection that you can have to your own self in connection with vibrations or sounds or technology. So when you are starting to work on recentering your consciousness with the center of all of that energy, and also your desire and will to help others in that expressing their own desire to learn and to grow, the energy will help that mental energy be more oriented to go into where the emotions go as well.
Yes, thank you. I wrote down a bunch of stuff. I might be able to help Rob when he comes out of it. And I'm going to go ahead and read one of the things I wrote down to you.
Yes.
You light the way to oneness. You know, it tips off all of them. It tips off all the beings of the way. You be the oneness. You be that living example. For everything, you know, if you see the good things as good and the bad things as good in that they are a learning experience. By co-creating something that does not resonate with you, you can learn what in you does what, and learn to no longer go that way, to no longer make that energy your own, and to be something else instead. In that way, life is an ever-going learning experience. And you can go ahead and by living like that, by being it, by always being happy, by not letting your happiness be conditional, by learning from everything there is to learn from, you light the way with oneness, or you light the way to oneness with torches. It simply shows everybody, here it is. It does not force them there, but it shows them. They see it, they feel it, they know it, and they'll naturally gravitate toward there. The rest is all in your own beliefs and your own creatorship. You're just working your energy just like I worked mine to make my PC audio recorder work.
Yes, this energy is very true, as it directs to the energy of your desire to create your understanding of creation, but also the dynamics of creating and co-creating as well. As you are aware, the time of this evening has come to its end, but before we disconnect, we wish to share that we leave all of you in love and in light, and we will experience each other again very, very soon as well.
Good night, Treb.
Yes, good night. We are back without hesitation, and again, Mrs. Aridif. We wish to express that again, as we are the same energy, TReb Bor, yit-NE, we must disconnect for this day. But before disconnecting, we wish to share something that you are already very aware. That as you are asking your queries, you are bringing that energy inside of yourself to ignite co-creation as we look at that energy in yourself. And because all of us are one, it allows us to perceive those parts of our energy that we are here to perceive. We wish to congratulate you for your growth and expansion, and we wish to thank you for ours as well. We bid you all adieu for this evening, and of course you are loved.
Adieu.
Adieu.